The purpose of this demonstration is to give a quick review of the PBSA POS software. PBSA has been working with butchers for over 15 years, and we have a lot of direct hands-on experience with meat and fresh produce sites and businesses. The majority of our team members are rural based, and we've got families that are connected with farming and butchery. The system in the whole way that we've designed it from the very beginning is focused on giving simplicity of use for the butcher, for the casual staff member, while in behind the scenes implementing powerful workflows that are going to help increase sales, save labor, lower wastage levels, and basically give a lot more efficiencies within the system. From a design perspective, one of the key points of difference is we designed a really simple touchscreen interface that does everything that you're going to need a butcher to do. So that means the same interface does retail sales, customer loyalty, customer Christmas orders, does what's called digital order packing, pre-pack labeling, body breakdown, and a lot more. So from a design side, our objective was to have one really simple to use, easy interface. And in the current slide that you're seeing there, you can see a couple of our different modes, our retail mode and our packing mode. And I'm going to now go into the actual software itself and show you on the actual screen. You'll see in this picture that I'm showing at the moment an example of the hardware that we'd have in a butcher store. Again, it can be configured in different ways, but you'll see we've got a scale sitting on a shelf. We've got a touchscreen mounted on a pole with the receipt printer, the FPOS terminal, and in the background, you can see the customer display screen. So again, we can deploy this with different approaches, but fundamentally, this is the core hardware that a butcher or casual staff member would be using. The screen that you're seeing in the moment is an example of our retail mode. And what you'll see down the bottom, we call this a screen, or you can think of it like a web page. We've got different buttons, and buttons can do different things in our software. So if I press the beef blade roast button, you'll see that adds the product to the screen, connects to the scale, and would automatically get the weight. In this case, I'm going to manually enter a weight. So again, so a button links with a product. If I press the chicken button, this is an example of where the button will drill into the chicken category and subcategory. And you'll see listed here is all our different chicken products. Now to navigate on this retail sales screen, you can see I've got the back buttons and the home buttons. So like a web page, you click back or home and it takes you back to that main screen where again, I can add more products and do other items. If I want to take payment, I simply hit the commit FPOS button, or if they're paying via cash or some mixed payment method, I hit the commit button. So press the commit button, take a payment via cash or multiple cards, click OK. That would pop the cash drawer, print out a receipt if you want it to, or I've got the option if you don't automatically print a receipt, I've got a button here with a summary of the sale. Now in this retail mode, buttons can also drill into categories. So if I press the party button, it takes me into a screen with all my Christmas product. This same retail mode has the ability to also record an order. So that could be a Christmas order, a festive season order, Easter, or it could be a wholesale customer who's on the phone or who's come into the store. So to take an order, I press the Save as Order button. And if I was running a customer loyalty program, I could simply scan their loyalty card. But in this case, I'm going to hit Select Customer, and this will do a wildcard search of all their different fields: first name, last name, company, mobile, email. Or in this case, I'm going to choose Pauline. So I'm going to select her and I'm going to link Pauline with this particular order. So you can see Pauline's linked with the order. She might want some chicken breast schnitzel. So I press that button that's linked with a product. And this fires what we call line validation. So our software has the ability to prompt a staff member to ask additional questions. It also handles the fact that the customer might be talking in each, even though we sell to them based on kilos. So the person wants 12 chicken schnitzels, and we've got an option where they can get that with a gluten-free crumb. So again, as the staff member, I just tick and use that. Let's click our party button that links to more of our Christmas product. Let's say Pauline wants a 3 to 4 kg ham. Again, this brings up the questions that the staff member asks. How many do you want? Talking in each. Do you want the bone taken out? Do you want a glaze on that? So again, really simple for a staff member to record the different details. Now that I've added everything that in this case Pauline wants for her order, I hit the commit button, and now I get an extra prompt. When do they want to pick this up? So I could say, well, they want to pick this up on the 20th of December. And I've got the option, if I want to take a deposit. So I say, I want to take a deposit. I hit the yes button to take that deposit. And let's say they're giving us $50. So I click OK. On this click event, this would print out a special order receipt with everything that Pauline had ordered and a special barcode down the bottom so that we could easily scan that in the future if Pauline wanted to change that order. So the power of the touchscreen is it can do a retail sale, it can do an order. And the important thing is too, the sale will follow the staff member. So if you've got one or two or three different terminals, as the staff member moves from one end of the counter to the other, no matter what screen they go onto, the sale will follow the user. Equally, we could have 4 or 5 staff on just one terminal and they'd be switching between their sales as they were serving the customer. So that's an example of 2 of the modes of our software, but on this same touchscreen interface. So again, the whole objective is to have the butcher just familiar with one interface to be able to do everything else within the software. So I'm going to take you into a different mode. So if I press the options button up the top here, so pressing options now, and I enter into what's called print label mode. Watch what happens over on this side of the screen. So I'm pressing print label mode. And you'll see now I've got things about box numbers and labels and different things. So in this mode, the butcher can actually do what's called a pre-pack label. So if I was pre-packing beef blade roast, I could press that button. It would be added to the screen. And obviously sometimes you can get validation data as well too. And then it would automatically get a weight from the scale. So again, let's make that 2.1. And that's now going to produce a label, print it out on the printer, and then go back and get the next weight from the scale. You'll see on my screen just some examples of different labels that are price or weight embedded labels, nutrition information, ingredients information, logos. Our software's got lots of powerful features to create all sorts of custom labels, and each product can have its own label. And even a customer, for example, a local grocery store down the road, could have their own label that we use with their own price point and markup. So we've got a lot of power when it comes to all sorts of custom label designs for those that are doing pre-pack and also those that are doing value add products as well too. The power of this labeling pre-packing mode is not only can it produce pre-pack labels, it can also do a thing called a digital pack. So for example, if I press the orders button down the bottom, it's going to load up on the screen and list all of our orders. And you can see there's different stage and different statuses of those particular orders. I'm going to open up this order here for Paul Hoy. So let's select that order and open that order on the screen. And so that's brought up all the items that Paul has ordered. And this is now called a digital pack. So in this same mode, the software will connect to the scale and get the weight for this first line item here, this ham boneless Bangalore half. So it's going to get that weight, and that weight might be, again, it would automatically come from the scale, but it's going to get that weight, update the line item, produce a sticker if we want to produce a sticker to put on the box or on the product, and then it's going to automatically, without the butcher touching the screen, move to the next line item, connect to the scale, and get the next weight, the next weight, and the next weight. So the power of this is it's ensuring that no mistakes are made and that the packing process is very quick versus printing out a manual order, having someone manually weigh it and write it down, having someone else date and key in the order and produce the invoice. This is all done within the one function and process, ensuring the efficiency, the saving of labor, and most importantly, mistake reduction as well too. So again, this is our packing mode that packs and produces labeling. And in addition to that, it can track box numbers and print out address labels. Box 1 of 10, box 2 of 10, box 3 of 10, all done within the same process. And when I hit commit on this, the software then can produce an invoice, a proof of delivery document, a delivery docket. So there's that full control from the one place. The touchscreen has more modes as well too. So again, if I hit the options button and I go into what's called a product split mode. So I've got product split mode, I've got enter stock adjustment mode for stock adjustments to record wastage, and I've got what's called an incoming goods mode. So let's quickly go into the product split mode. So you'll see here, this mode gives me the ability to select a body or a batch or a bucket of meat and to then break that into other products. So in this case, I'm going to select the product to split. I could just use a scanner to scan the body tag here or to scan the box of meat. So I'm going to choose this as the product that I'm going to consume as I make other products. Now, what I can do here is, again, as I add products to this particular sale, it's going to connect to that scale. Let's choose another product here. So the beef rump, it's going to add that product, connect to the scale, get a weight. Let's say it was 24 kilos. And it's going to, if I want to produce a box or price weight embedded barcode or GS1, subject to your requirements. And you can see here, as I've added that, it's recorded that we've consumed from the 522, 23.99. So I now might add and weigh the Scotch fillet. Again, I've broken down that body or that box or that tub of meat, and now I'm going to record, it's a different mode. All these modes obviously have to track stock on them as well too, but I've got that capability on this screen to be able to do that. So for example, if I was now going to weigh my beef blade roast, I would press that button. It would connect to the scale, and again, it would get its weight. So what's happening now is the butcher, in the same screen that he's used to doing a retail sale, that he's used to packing an order in or recording an order, in that same touchscreen with a different mode, I've got the ability to record everything. Again, this is just if you're wanting to track the breakdown of box meat or bodies into other products. I've got a really simple interface to be able to achieve that. An example of another mode is our incoming goods mode. So I'm going to go out of that and into what's called incoming goods. The reason we built this mode is that we had actually had a client breaking down chicken bodies, and they didn't want to track the chicken bodies coming in, but they wanted to track it at the point that they broke the body down, and they wanted to record what it became. So in this mode, we again select a supplier. And then now as I weigh, and these guys were actually labeling the product. So as I add chicken breast fillet organic to the screen, it again connects to the scale, will automatically produce a label, and then it will receive, again, this in this case, 5 kilos into stock. And optionally, as I did say, produce a label. And then when I add the next product to the screen, it's going to receive that into stock. So again, the whole objective or the approach is, while the butcher's doing what he has to do, he's either recording, weighing, packing, labeling, in behind the scenes, our software's tracking yields, tracking consumption of other products, is doing stuff in behind the scenes to give us the intelligence to improve our performance and our approaches. But from the butcher's perspective, he's in the one mode managing his tasks in simplicity. I've now gone from the touchscreen interface that the butcher and casual staff member will use, and I've gone into the back end, and I've gone into product management or PLU management. So we wanted to make this really visual for the butcher. So you'll see I've got categories: beef, chicken, lamb, sausages, pork. And if I expand the chicken category, you'll see I've got a subcategory: chicken breast. When I click on that category, all my chicken breast products appear. I can move products around by simply selecting them and moving them. I can click on a subcategory like chicken breast and I could call it something else. So it's again designed to be very visual and easy for the butcher to be able to manage their product lines. And this structure flows through to the sales interface that I've already shown you, flows through to production, flows through online. So again, and flows through to reporting. Let's look at a product now. So at a basic level, a product has a PLU, title, price, stock level. But our software can support not only retail, production, sales, body breakdown, e-commerce. It has a lot of options. So if I expand and open up a product here, so I'm just going to open up the product tab, you're going to see lots of different tabs. Now we support everyone from the small butcher through to the one running multiple stores and production. So there's lots of tabs that you'll see are here. Now, subject to the requirements and modules of the store, we turn some of these tabs off. But let's just look at some of the key things very briefly. So a product has a title. If I wanted it to be online, I tick a box. I add a picture. I add an extended description. For example, I might include a recipe, how to cook it. I might want to link to a YouTube video. When it comes to prices, our software supports unlimited price levels. So you create different price levels for different groups of customers. In addition to that, I can even add a specific customer and put a start date, end date on a specific deal. So the whole objective of this is that whether the customer orders online or they come in the store or place an order some other way and your staff key it in, is the system knows all the special pricing and structures that you've set up, and that eliminates any chance of a mistake. We support, as I did mention before, everything to do with labeling. So that includes value add products, whether that might be lasagnas, pastas, kebabs, sausages. We can record their nutrition information, their ingredients. And in fact, each individual product can have its own custom label design. And even each customer, which I did mention before, can even have their own label design, logo, and markup pricing. For example, if you're supplying the local grocery store down the road, it's very easy for them to have their own label when you print their orders out. A very powerful feature in our software is what's called line validation. And you saw this on the touchscreen when we were placing an order for certain products. It asked extra questions. So you can create all your own questions, things like what thickness do they want? What pack size? What portion size? And this is not only important for Christmas, but also for wholesale orders, because often you'll have different pubs, cafes, restaurants who want the same product but want it in a different thickness, portion size, marinated, all sorts of different variants. And in most other systems, you had to create a new PLU, a new product line for each potential variance. Well, we can have the one product line and you can then have all the variations that the customer or your staff member gets prompted when they're taking an order. And this also flows through to our production reporting as well, that I'm going to show you a little bit later on. Our products also, because we support production, we can actually say that a product is made up of other components. So for example, a pasta or a lasagna is made up of pasta, mince, cheese, garlic, etc. So it's that full support for being able to have recipes and bill of materials that our software also does support. So you'll see there's lots of options in terms of managing a product. And the idea is from one place, the manager can edit and control every single aspect of the system. That's very, very comprehensive and has different modules subject to the requirements of your store. I wanted to briefly take you into another area called the Sales Command Center. And this is very important for managing Christmas orders and also for managing your wholesale orders. So this lists all my orders with different color codes based on the status of the order. And all the orders have different required dates. So often you'll say, what do I need to produce for tomorrow? And then from this, we'll actually produce a report, or some of our butchers will call this an actual boning list. I call it a production list. You'll see on this screen total stock that we require. So this is summing up based on those orders, the total quantities that we need. So you'll see there's an allocated column showing you what we've already got in stock. But in this example here, pending means we've got to source or bone out 153 kilos of beef Scotch fillet. So with the click of a button, the report instantly tallies and tells you exactly what you need to be able to break down. And there's lots of different filters on this report as well too. So I can actually get reports based on just for the person breaking down chicken, the person breaking down beef, the person breaking down beef. So there's lots of filters on this screen that you can actually use to direct your production. This report is what's called our line validation report. So it's looking at each of the individual lines and letting the person who's preparing the cuts for the packer know any variances. So you'll see we've got the beef Scotch fillet, 12 of these made at 200 grams in a pack size of 1 kilo with a thickness of 6 mil. And then we've got 24 that need to be done at 250 grams in a 2 kilo pack and 8 mil thick. And again, if I scroll down a little bit further, we can see an example here of how we're managing the each. So we've got our chicken breast schnitzels, organic, 200 grams, gluten-free, are going to be, we need 26 of those, representing 5.2. We also need 18 at 250 grams that don't have the gluten-free crumb. Or thinking about Christmas, for example, we can see of our 4 to 5 kg hams, we need 8 that have got the glaze. We need 10 that have got the glaze and the bone taken out. So you can see how with the two reports, the first report gives a complete big picture. The second picture gives the direction clearly to your guys preparing the cuts and the products for the orders to be packed. It's given them really clear instructions, and you click a button and it's instant. And this is very, very important. The software can also automatically run an integrated online store. So you'll see here as I scroll down, here's all my featured products. The pictures are managed within the software, the titles, the prices, and you'll see on this side, this is the category tree that's coming from the point of sale. So customers can easily click a product, add it to their cart, and check out. In a similar fashion, your wholesale clients have a wholesale portal. They can log in, see their favorites, and rather than the retail approach, the wholesale is more like a list. So I might want 22 kilos of this, 14 kilos of this, and it's recording all their favorites. So again, it's that login event that generates the favorites, gives me the ability to choose what my favorites may happen to be. And I also have a thing called a standing order. So again, a person can log in, view their order history, or they can have a saved order template. So if I order the same stuff every day, I log in, go to my order template, hit restore, order done. So within a minute, it means a wholesale client, a chef who's just cleaned up at the end of the day can quickly place their order. And all those orders come into that sales command center. The final area that I want to mention in this brief demo is reporting is really important. We have a dashboard, it's all browser driven. And so that means you can bring that up on your mobile phone, on your tablet, on any device with a browser. And the dashboard gives me a quick overview of how's the store going today? How are my staff performing? What are my top categories at the moment? What are my top products? How am I trending? What money's come in today? How is the store performing on a per hour basis? And then there's lots of individual reports with lots of different filters. So you can see there's actually 60 different reports with the ability to drill in via category, staff member, sales performance areas, look at my gross profit, my margins, look at my stock reports and things that I need to be aware of. So 60 different reports, highly detailed reports, again, to position the butcher so that they've, or not so much just the butcher, but the manager of the store with the data that they need to make better decisions and boost your profitability. So I've tried to make this demo as short and as brief as I could while giving a clear indication of just some of the capability of the software. We're unique in that we have a comprehensive solution through doing the hard work of spending hundreds and hundreds of hours with our butcher clients, watching what they're doing and coming up with ways that the software can help them do it quicker and better while at the same time being really easy to use. I would also suggest that you may want to watch the video on how we manage Christmas orders in more detail. But the key thing to note is that we realize that every individual butcher store is slightly different. And so, what we would normally do, and this is what I'd encourage you to consider, is with no obligation, I would suggest that you arrange a one on one remote demonstration with one of our sales staff. The reason for this is we can listen, learn, and then show you areas of our software pertinent towards your focus. The whole, I guess, objective of our software, in addition to making it simple to use, is about return on investment. Our software has a very strong return on investment. Its ability to be able to boost sales, its ability to lower mistakes, lower labor costs, uh, decrease wastage as much as possible is what makes the software so powerful, combined with its comprehensiveness. So, again, in finishing, I'll encourage you to contact your local sales rep. You can certainly go to our website, which is shown on this actual slide, and submit a request, and one of our guys will certainly reach out to you. Thanks again for your time. We are passionate about the meat industry, we're passionate about farming, and we really want to make a difference in every single individual butcher store in the UK and also in Australia. So, again, thanks for your time.